on the right side of that screen, you see total balance, which says 102,124.76 for me in Naira. And in USD, it also shows you the value in USD. Okay, so that particular balance shows you the total portfolio balance of your wallet. So all the assets you're going to have in your wallet, today we only have two assets here, which is the XBN and the BNR. And I'm also going to explain to us that the XBN is the native token of the Bantu blockchain. So Bantu blockchain, every blockchain as we know, always have the native token which is used as gas to transport the transactions that you make. Okay, for Bantu blockchain, it is called the Bantu Network Token, the XBN. And that is what we can see here on the third part of the app where you have assets. You see the Bantu XBN. Now, if you swipe that screen, you're going to see another asset which is called the BNR. So we also have these Bantu Network rewards, which we issued to reward people who, the community, our community or ecosystem participants who carry out different activities, because we plan to have different campaigns and activities and tasks that people can participate in and be rewarded for doing that. Now, I would like to let us know that in future, under the assets page, we're going to have different assets issued on Bantu blockchain. Different entities, different entrepreneurs, different people innovating different things are going to come and be building different projects on this infrastructure, and they are going to be issuing their assets. And we are going to see the assets listed here. And one very important thing that we also need to understand, that on Bantu blockchain, it is not every asset that is issued that you can be forced to use. You know, there are some other blockchains that you can wake up one morning and open your wallet and you see hundreds of assets that you don't even know where they're coming from. But here, you have to accept that you are willing to receive this asset before someone can send it to you. Okay? So if you go to the bottom part of the page, you're going to see 4 icons there. The first one is send. The second one is receive. The third one is swap. And the other one is history. So the send icon actually shows you how to send a transaction from one person to the other. So we said that the Bantu Pay wallet is a non-custodial wallet that allows secure storage of assets and peer-to-peer transaction or peer-to-peer transfer of value. So what is value? Anything of value can be tokenized and be issued on Bantu blockchain. Okay, you can tokenize your building, and issue the tokens on the blockchain. You can tokenize anything that has value. Your farm produce, you know, our founder has already mentioned some of the use cases that can apply here. So what do you do? When you click on send, you select the asset you want to send to someone. In this case, we have only 2 assets now. In future, we're going to have more. So I select that I want to send XBN to somebody. All I need to do is to put in the username of the person I want to do this transaction to. Okay? So can someone just give me your username if you're here? Sorry, online community. I just need one username from someone that is here. Sorry? Can you spell it, please? DEMIKANDE. Okay. Okay, yeah. So you can see that the app has confirmed that Demiconde is a valid user. So I want to send 100 XBN to Demiconde, okay? And I can tell him to use it to buy coffee. Sorry. Okay. So now if I click on continue, it's going to show me the name of this person I want to transact with. And also if this user has set his profile picture, I'm also going to see it here to confirm that this person is the real person or the actual owner of that username. In case somebody can have a username that is John, another person that has another John that is J-O-N-H. Now, if I make a mistake, I can actually confirm that this person is the real person when the app shows you the name of the person. Then I put in my password, which is 16122020. and I send the transaction. So Demi, you're going to let us know when you receive the transaction. I believe your app is open, and it's gone. So it takes less than 3 seconds for this transaction to go through. That is how fast transactions can be done on Bantu blockchain. Irrespective of any part of the world the user is, you can do a transaction and it goes immediately. So if you want to do another transaction, you click on send another, or you just click on done to go back. Now we go to the next icon, which is receive. So this receive, when you tap on it, it shows you your QR code. Have you received the transaction? Yeah, he received it because he went immediately. I can also show us when we get to the history, the record of the transaction that we've done. So the receive button, when you tap on it, it opens your QR code. Anyone in the room can actually scan my QR code and just send a transaction to me. So if I'm close to someone that has the Bantu Pay app, or even another one that is built by another third party on Bantu blockchain, you can actually just scan my QR code and make payment. And this is very, very important for maybe organizations that collect, maybe in a church that collects offering. You know, this kind of QR code can just be displayed on the screen, and instead of people going around to pass offering or give money or all that, they can just snap it and make their transfers and all that. Okay? So if I go to the next icon, which is swap. Okay, someone online wants to do transaction. Okay, just let us have the username immediately. KRI. Yeah. ROW. Okay, that's correct. Okay, so let's also send 100 XBN to this person, and he has to confirm to us that he received it. Let's say just gift. So the message we are adding here is for you to be able to maybe tell the person the reason why you're making the transaction. You can just write anything you want to write there, so that when the person receives it, he will know what it is for. So the owner of this app, I can see the beautiful face and the name, so I can confirm that this is the real. Then I put in my password. You always put the password to confirm that you are the one making this transaction, because anyone can pick up your device and try to do something. The password is for you to confirm you want to make the transaction. So this will also go to Chris Rowe. That's gone. Can Chris Rowe also confirm that she received the transaction while we proceed? Yeah, confirmed. Okay, thank you. Okay, yeah. All right, so let's go to history so that we can see some of the histories of the transactions we've done. You see Abidemi Akonde, which we did 100 XBN. I can see now that I have some people who actually love me that send some transactions to me. I can see Ernest Mbenkun send some transactions to me, and Rick Richards sent transaction to me. I believe they must have scanned my QR code when I displayed it on the screen. Then the Ifeyunwa Belongu as well, which we did a transaction to, is also here. Okay, so if you want to see more details of this transaction, just tap on anyone. It shows you the details of the transaction. So what does this mean? For those of us who don't know, you can see where you have the transaction memo. That gift that I just typed in here, this is where the person is going to see the transaction memo. There's a transaction ID, and there's a transaction hash. There's a ledger that carried this transaction on the blockchain, and there's a timestamp. And there's a source account where this transaction came from. And there's a transaction fee, which is 100 spirits. So spirits, like NS explained before, is the smaller value of Bantu. So this is the spirit of Ubuntu, spirit of Africa. Okay? So all this information, you can confirm them on the blockchain. So this is the reason why blockchain is very good, because any transaction that is done on blockchain is immutable, is secure, it is transparent. Okay? So while we maintain the transparency, we also keep the confidentiality of the transaction. Because when you go to the blockchain, you can only see alphanumeric numbers. you don't see any names. But if you look at the wallet we have today, you can see that it's more social because you can relate to people's usernames and faces on the wallet. But when you get to the blockchain, millions of people are going to be transacting and you're going to be seeing transactions moving up and down, but you don't know who owns them. All right? So the next thing we are going to show is how to swap. Because in future, in the very near future, people are going to be swapping from different things to the other. Someone can have con token, right? Con, yeah? And another person may have Obono seed. Maybe somebody tokenized Obono seed and put it on the blockchain. So what we are trying to do is to eliminate the barrier or the distance between values. Like Mr. Abubakar said, and like Ernest also said, we want to eliminate that distance. All right? So in the future, okay, so in the future, we are going to be having different assets tokenized on the blockchain issue. And the swap engine that we have here enables people to swap from anything to anything. Holding Con token, or you can be holding, let's say, Onitsha Bridge token. Maybe Onitsha Bridge will buy the token, investing in that project, and they're holding the token. And somebody else is holding maybe one other infrastructure somewhere token, you know, and you want to swap from Onitsha Bridge to Con, or from Con to chicken, or from chicken to cow. You can actually do that. So I want to demonstrate how you do that. All you need to do is to come here, tap on the asset you want to swap, and all the assets you have on your wallet will be displayed. Like we know, today we only have BNR and XBN. Tomorrow we can have Con or coffee or whatever. Then I select the one I want to swap. I want to swap some BNR to XBN. So on the other side, I only have XBN because the BNR that I selected on the left-hand side has been eliminated. So I'm only left with XBN. Assuming I have others, I would have seen the others that I have there. All right, so, excuse me. So how many BNR I want to swap? I just want to swap 10 BNR or maybe 100 BNR, and I swap. As usual, the app asks me to confirm that I'm the one doing this, and I do that by putting the password. Once I do that, so imagine that this is, you have Con token and you want to swap it with someone that has coffee token in the future. So what happens here is that this goes to the market to see the people who are making the market or who are selling Con token in the market and other people selling Obono seed token in the market, and the trade is executed there. Okay, so we see that this has happened. Now, if you go to the history as well, we are going to see the swap that we have done on the history. Okay, it seems this is lagging on the screen. Okay, so we can see the swap that has just happened now. I swapped 100 BNR to XBN. So you can see that I got only 25 XBN. So this shows you that BNR, 4 BNR is equivalent to 1 XBN. So when I swapped 100 BNR, I just got 25 XBN. Okay, so this is about the icons we have here. So we have learned how to do the send. We have seen how we can receive. We have seen how to swap. And we have seen how to check the history of the transactions we have done. Now let's go back and show us some other things that we have on the wallet. If you go to the side menu, you're going to see this page that will open. The first thing you see there is the profile. Okay. So this profile says that my name is Bantu Launch and my username is Bantu Launch. Our ID is Bantu Launch. So if I tap on the profile icon there, you're going to see the page that will open up showing my name, first name, last name, middle name if I want to put it, and my gender, and my email address, which I'm going to verify. So for those of us who are signing up for the first time, you're going to verify your email, the phone number, the Twitter account. This page actually is going to be used in future for KYCs for some entities that are going to be issuing tokens that need some level of KYC to use. We're going to have other information that we need to be collecting on this page, and we're going to add that in the future. The next one, history, we have seen. The earnings page is very important. Now, if you look at the earnings page, you're going to see an input field that requires you to put in referral, the person that referred you. So here we reward people that refer people to download this wallet. So here, if I put in someone's username here as a referrer, then I'm going to be rewarded with some BNR for using that referrer. And the person that referred me also will be rewarded. The referrer ID is the username. So for those of you who have the wallet, just send your username to somebody, send the person the link to the app, and send your username to the person so that I can come to this earning page and impute it. And both of you will receive reward for doing that. Now, we're also organizing a weekly use activity for our community. So for those of us who are using this wallet weekly, we are going to be rewarding you. We're actually monitoring what people are doing. You can see activity for week 51, where I have reached 20% of the target. The target is 100%. So the more I do the transaction, send transaction, and swap transaction, I will be approaching the target. So I'll try and make reach 100% so that I can receive the reward for the week. Then the next thing we have here is a backup. So this is very important. You heard when I said that the private key of your wallet is your control. So you need to back this up. Make sure you save it somewhere safe, because if you happen to lose your device, that is the only way you can get back your wallet and your assets. So it's a non-custodial wallet, so you need to keep your private key safe. So all you need to do here is to tap on backup. When you tap on backup, a warning comes, you read and you check this field that says that no one is looking, proceed, backup my wallet. Start backup. So you can see on this page that you have the blue alphanumeric characters on blue. Once you tap on it, it copies your private key, then you can save it somewhere, keep it somewhere safe. We've also made this in such a way that you can actually write down these 7 lines of characters that are showing here. You can write it in a paper and store it in a very safe place. Then, of course, you have to confirm that you have securely written down and stored the key. And you understand that if you don't understand that, hello, you also have to confirm that you understand that if you lose your key, you're going to. So remember, we said responsibility. So this gives you freedom, but you have to be responsible for it. Okay? So once you do that, you tap on go back to home, and it takes you back to your home page. Okay? So the next thing we look at is the settings. On the settings, you can select the language you want to show. You can select the currency that you want your portfolio to be displayed in. My own is displayed in Naira because this app automatically detects where you are, any part of the world. It detected that I'm in Nigeria. That's why it's showing my asset in Nigeria, in Nigerian Naira. If I happen to be in Ghana, when I open my home page or when I open my app, it's going to show my portfolio in Ghana cedis. But I have the liberty to actually change to whatever currency I want. You can also set the number of minutes it takes your app to log out when you're not using it, so that if you happen to drop your device somewhere, it can actually log you out. And when you come back, you log back in. Then you have your team, notification, hide balance, and password management. Okay, it seems my time is up, but I'm going to rush through this so that we can finish it. Then the next thing is security. We have given some very nice write-up of what people can read and how people can protect their mobile device and protect their assets, because like we said, this is a non-custodial wallet. It's very important that people understand this. Once you lose your secret key, you have lost your asset. You need to guard your secret key with your life if you want to keep your assets safe. So you have to read this. Then we have the support. We have all our support links here. Bantu Talk, we encourage everyone to go to Bantu Talk. To go there, just tap on any one, and it takes you straight to the page. Bantu Talk is a forum that we have created for people to interact. We have different categories of topics that people can engage on. We have the Bantu Pay category, we have Marketplace, we have developers. Developers can actually come here and interact. We have announcements. For example, if you have a project that you want to announce to the community that you're doing a project, you can actually come here and do your announcement, and people will start engaging on there. Then we go back. We have our Telegram group. You can just tap there, and it takes you straight to our Telegram page, and you join our Telegram where you can interact real time with the team and other ecosystem participants. We have our Facebook page, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Reddit, Medium, and LinkedIn. all of them are there. We encourage you to join them all. Then on the About, this shows you the version of the app that you're using. You can see that I have 1.0.35. Okay, so when you tap on About, it shows you the version of the app. Then when you go to the logout, it logs you out of the app and you can log in again. So thank you very much. We encourage all the people who are entrepreneurs, project builders, to come to Bantu, build on Bantu, and yeah, that's it.
Let's put our hands together for Mr. Obi. Thank you so much for that explanation and taking us through the Bantu blockchain, especially the Bantu Pay and the Bantu Talk. So you've heard it from Mr. Obi. You can interact with Bantu using the Bantu Talk. So quickly, before we go straight into, we have two more sessions basically. We have the Bantu Pay airdrop, which is for registered participants. It's going to be going out for registered participants. But before that, we're also, after that rather, we are going to be having a Q&A session where we'll take loads of questions from our on-site and online community members who are interested in asking one or two questions as well. I already have one question in the house here, and I'm patiently waiting for that session. But before that, let me just quickly bring on my co-host, Mr. Victor. Mr. Victor, how are you?
I'm doing very, very well, Tony. Thank you so much, Tony, and I hope you are doing well as well yourself.
Yes, I am. I'm enjoying myself. I think I should start going around and showing people my BR code here so that they can begin to, exercise what we are preaching here, right? So you would encourage me to do that, right, Victor?
Thumbs up for you.
All right, let's go straight into recognition. I understand you want to quickly recognize a distinguished gentleman.
Yes. So I want to appreciate some people that have joined us on this amazing journey and this experience today. There's someone in the house. I don't know if you can hear me, or if you can't, please unmute. And that's the CIO of Vodafone Ghana, Soika Tulu. Yeah, I don't know Soika. Please, Soika happens to have been one of my early bosses when I just started my career. So I want to recognize him, the big brother. Also, and I think one of our major advisors on Bantu blockchain. Soika, if you're around, just acknowledge because he wasn't online earlier.
Okay, Shoika can just give us a wave.
Maybe I don't know if he's on mute. Okay. If not, we can just move on. But I just wanted to recognize him.
Okay.
Thank you. So, yeah.
All right, so we are going to be.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll use your face. I've actually been on for about an hour, 10 minutes or thereabouts, so I've been part of the presentation. I'm quite interested.
Interesting. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shoinka. All right, Victor, we are going to have the team recognition now, which is going to be backed up by a Soranos song that you specially requested.
Yes, exactly. Before we go into the song, Tony, I'll give you the signal. And I want to get everybody's attention, both online and on-site.
Okay.
The journey that you all are about to witness because we are just starting. I have a popular saying when I serve within the team at Bantu, and that is our journey.
Why? Okay, while you're trying to share your screen, DJ, you can just give us our favorite song for the occasion. Thank you.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Okay, you can clap if you want to. Yes.
I see skies of blue and clouds of
Yeah, can keep clapping. Clapping.
the bright
These are phenomenal brains behind this
dogs say
project.
goodnight. And I think to myself, what a wonderful
Online community as well. You can just put. You can show us. Use the clap emoji. You can also show us the clap emoji. Thank you. Thank you everyone online for celebrating these amazing individuals. Thank you Ali, Lugo,
so pretty in the sky are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying how do you do? They're really saying
amazing.
babies cry. I watch them grow. They're like much more than I ever knew. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
All right, Victor, thank you so much for sharing. That almost made me cry. Who shed a tear here? Admit, admit. Even Mr. Ernest is admitting. Come on. Come on, if you know you shed a tear like Mr. Ernest and myself, let me see your hand up. Just wave. Even if it didn't come out, at least it was inside. Let me just. But we Nigerians, we like family, we are very strong, emotionally strong. I understand. Thank you so much, Mr. Victor. So right now, we'll just be going straight into the Q&A. This is actually an interesting session because this is where we get to have some of the speakers we had in today's event as panelists or appear as panelists so that we can be able to take questions for them and ask them for clarity's sake. I already have a question. So let me use this opportunity just before on the panelists to mention that for as many who are engaging online, who are interacting, please don't forget to use the hashtag Hello Bantu and Bantu Launch. Also tag Bantu Blockchain on Twitter. All right, let us make this trend, basically. So, Victor, with your permission, I can actually go ahead to bring on the panelists for this session. Yes, we can. Okay. Victor, are you still with us? Okay, so while we are trying to wait for Victor to join us, let me just quickly call on the names that I have here who are going to be part or form a plenary session for the Q&A. I have the first on my list is, so once I call the name, let's just celebrate the person by putting our hands together. I would need, can we have the chair on stage, please? I need someone to help us. 3 chairs. Okay, yeah, that's true. So 2 chairs. Thank you. 2 chairs? Or I think it's just 1. Oh, 2. Thank you. 2. Just confirm. All right. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, please let's welcome panel session or the Q&A session. The founder of Bantu Blockchain Foundation, as well as Stellar, Mr. Ernest. Let's put our hands together for Mr. Ernest. Okay. The second person on this list is, I've been asked by Mr. Victor actually to also bring on to the panel session Mr. Mike Ogbalu. I hope I pronounced that name correctly. You. Okay, and moderating this session with me is none other than my amazing co-host, Mr. Victor Akuma Phillips. Victor, are you ready? All right, so let's not forget that at this point, we can now begin to take questions online, especially those on Zoom. Okay, so I've just been told that David Shane is also online and will be joining the session as well. Let us put our hands together for David Shane as well. David Shane, can you say hello?
Hello.
Okay, David, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you for joining this session. So, Mike, I'll just allow you take this session, and I'll just go on social media to see the questions that are coming in. However, I have one question from the member or a member who attended here as well. Did you get that, Victor? Yes, I said I was going to hand this part of the session. I'll just allow you do the introduction. Probably you have a couple of questions with you already. I have questions here as well. So.
Yeah, so this next question is for Ernest. Someone just asked now, what protocol is Bantu operating on? Is it a fork? That's for Ernest.
Thank you very much for that question. Bantu is built on various protocols. We've looked at many different blockchains over the years to address key challenges. And like, for example, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Ripple, and Stellar. And we've combined some key features to build something from that, adding our own unique features into the blockchain. But the closest one to what we are working on is the Stellar protocol. The difference is that our consensus protocol is known as the Harambee Federated Byzantine Agreement. Harambee, which comes from Swahili, which means to pull together. We've added some new features that will allow independent parties that contribute to the validation of the network to receive rewards, as well as rewards for token creators who will be able to share in each of the transactions that are sent out. Traditionally, with all blockchains, when you issue a token on Ethereum or other, you don't really get a part of the transaction fee. So we are looking to distribute some of that. And this is part of what is baked into our protocol. So it's actually new. It takes a lot from the others that we have out there, but we've actually added a few enhancements. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ernest. Another question that I have here is from Tosa. So Tosa is asking that what dev tool and programming language can be used to create decentralized applications on Bantu?
Another good question. Pretty much any language. I mean, Python, Go, Java, JavaScript. It really depends on the SDKs you're going to use. But we also have APIs that you can access directly and pretty much use any language, you know, Objective-C, C#, Swift. So there's the whole variety. You don't really have to use a specific one. You find the one that serves your purpose. And more important, it's not about just what is available. We're looking at developers and other engineers and participants to come out and support the ecosystem to build out their own SDKs and APIs for the different solutions. What the team has done to date has been a labor of love. And as this baby comes to birth, you know, in Africa, we say it takes a village to raise a child. So we need all of you to come on board to contribute. So it's really, there are no limits. The limits are what we can imagine. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. So the next question is for David. David, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear, Victor.
All right. So someone is asking, this is not too much of a tech, but of course, since you're part of the team, someone says, I saw the API for developers, and it is nice. It's more like a compliment that APIs for developers is quite nice. Do you have some open source repo somewhere for now? That's the question from German Hugo.
Thanks for the question. I think I would probably suggest reverting this to Ernest, who has a better grasp of the open source code and what can be done there. So maybe I can hand that one off to Ernest.
Okay, thank you. So Ernest?
Sure. So we do have our repos. We haven't opened them yet. We are still finalizing. And once they are open, we are going to be sharing with our various communities. However, for the Bantu Pay platform, payment infrastructure, the API is already available on api-docs.bantupay.org. And you can begin to play with that. However, the core protocols and some of the SDKs are not yet publicly available, but we are going to make them following this launch. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ernest.
Okay.
This is a very simple question from Terry. Sorry?
Okay, I was.
Okay, Terry is asking a question. Go on.
Oh, okay, I was just going to take a quick question from an attendee we have here on site, just before we continue from the questions online. With your permission, sir.
Please go ahead.
Okay, so if I don't know who is sending, I'll direct this question to Mike. If I don't know who is sending the money, this question is coming from the demonstration, you know, that Mr. Obi did not quite long. He says, if I don't know who is sending the money, can I reject it? Is there an option for receive and reject? And she would also like to find out how the person you airdropped, how he received it. Was there the option to accept that transfer or also reject it in cases where you don't want anybody to send you anything or anyhow thing? That's the question. And Azuka is the person asking.
Good question again. So for the native token, if somebody sends it to you, you can receive it. There's no rejection per se. Other apps can be built to reject it. However, as we mentioned during the demo, For all the other assets that are being created, you would need to trust the asset before you can receive it. You can't just send somebody spam, so it's very important. So part of the protocol requires that you need to have trusted or accepted to receive an asset. You can't just send it. If you try to do that, it's going to reject and bounce back to you.
Okay, so you're saying that the person that you sent that money to received it without accepting or doing. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mr. Victor.
All right, thank you very much, Tony. Thank you. The next question is for Mike. So, Sir Mike, someone asked, what challenges do you feel the Bantu network will overcome in Africa, in your opinion?
Okay, thank you very much. Let me first of all start by congratulating the team, and on so much work. And chain has that potential, to change the way we actually do all of the business that we do on the continent. The sheer nature of blockchain, the distributed ledger system, it can have the kind of profound effect that you have with the internet. The internet wasn't designed or well optimized for the exchange of digital value. So what you have is a situation where if I were to trade a value digitally on the internet, it's almost like sending an email. It's difficult to guarantee the recipient that I have not kept a copy of what I've sent to you. But blockchain actually offers you that opportunity to actually exchange digital value in a way that continues to maintain the trust between the parties and makes it possible for people to do business more effectively. Coming to payment and identity, the fact that blockchain, the technology is immutable in its nature, means that you can actually build more secure solutions. You can handle things like identity. Identity is a very big challenge on the continent, and I think that blockchain actually provides that kind of infrastructure that will enable us to build identity systems that cannot be compromised. So there are just so many things. For us at Verve, we're already looking at what we call Verve 2.0, and blockchain is a significant part of what we want to build on that platform. So clearly, Bantu is not just bringing this wallet which was demoed. That is really just one small piece of the pie, but the beauty of it is actually being able to build transformational solutions on the Bantu blockchain infrastructure. Just to add one last thing, which is similar to what Abu spoke about. The most interesting thing for us about Bantu is the fact that we're actually building this infrastructure, and I sent out a message to say that this is for Africa by Africa, and that inspires us also as Verve. I always say that the global providers, they can know how to do business better than me globally, but they just don't have any right to know how to do business better than me in Africa. So that's the kind of impact that I think Bantu can make.
Come on, if you want to put your hands together for Mr. Mike, please do that.
That makes sense. So, thank you very, very much, Mike. The next question is for David. If David, you're still there. So they say, why should we focus on Bantu and neglect other blockchains since Bantu is still young compared to others? So David, that's for you.
Yeah, thanks for the question. It's a very, very interesting question. I don't think there's a right or a wrong answer to this. I'll start by saying I've been in the blockchain digital assets industry for almost 10 years now. I've known Ernest for a very long time, and we've looked at various different blockchains. We've seen blockchains in its infancy grow for different reasons. why you would want to be interested in the Bantu blockchain is because the amount of use cases that you can bring in from Africa that, as we talk about, are socially impactful, but also allowing financial inclusion is incredible. I've always believed that blockchains have been overutilized and perhaps not necessarily really that impactful in the developed markets. In the emerging markets, especially in a continent like Africa, it can be so powerful. And I think these use cases are what really embeds the true value of Bantu. Once that gets exposed and opens up, and developers start realizing that these use cases need solutions, and they start building on Bantu, I believe you'll see the valuation of blockchain increase. And that's why, even though it's a nascent, what we would call sort of the virgin blockchain, I think there's a lot of opportunities here for developers in Africa, where I believe there's a lot of talent to be able to build solutions for people who really need these solutions. And that's what we're about.
Thank you very, very much, David. Really appreciate that. The next question is coming from the Chain Association of Zambia. I'd like to also appreciate you, sir, man. And I think I'll take that question myself. Tony, let me know if you guys can hear me loud and clear. And I'll read the question.
Yes, we can hear you.
Alright. So the question goes like this. It says, how do you intend to work with the blockchain associations in other countries? So when I hear blockchain association in other countries, I would like to start by answering that question by rephrasing that question. In fact, I would say, how will the blockchain association work with us? And the reason why I'm changing that is because the Bantu blockchain is an infrastructure. So an infrastructure is almost like you have a land, a bare land, and you need something to build on that land. You don't, if you want to, if you either build on it or you farm on it, or you do whatever you want to do on it. That is what Bantu is about. So we are actually here to look for associations like this from Zambia, from other places outside Africa, as long as you have an amazing use case or a problem or impact kind of project that you wish to do. And on another side, from a strategy perspective, one of the things that we set out to do at Bantu when we commenced was to actually break Africa and break our operations into pieces. Like you guys are probably aware, I actually just introduced Botswana, led by Alakanani. In the western part of Africa, Eric Anan is overseeing that. And then we still have openings for other parts of Africa as well. And I think today we have some people from Zambia. In fact, they are probably already a community of almost 30-something. So how do we plan to do this? On a technical perspective, within our team, like somebody just gave the feedback, we have our APIs for you to actually plug in if you want to use the wallet. One thing I should also note, the wallets that were just demoed to you, if you go to our website, there's an API there for those that wish to build the wallets themselves. And you can now do whatever you want to do, put on the front end and whatever. So we are open to actually work with developers, work with associations, and then see how we can help, and then how we can also, solve the major, problem we want to solve, and then see how we can grow this ecosystem all together. So we are open. Myself, you can always reach out to me, and then of course Obi that did the demo is also at this dev head, and with his team as well. We are, and Telly is also here as well. So we're all, welcoming enough people after this launch to start, seeing how we can do this all together. Thank you very much.
Okay. So, Mr. Victor, I would just like to confirm if we would want to take any more questions. Do we have any question from here in the house? Okay. Yes, I would. All right. So let me just walk or let me go straight to where it is with my hand sanitizer.
Can all of you hear me? Yes. So my question is for Mike. As a CEO of a major like Nigerian company, I would assume that change is always kind of like scary, right? But at what point did you learn about blockchain, and at what point did it like make sense to you that is something we need to focus on? Did you initially dismiss it? I think, yeah.
Okay, so really most of what we heard about blockchain was more around cryptocurrencies, and so for us, we had to, we're fully regulated entity. So again, our views at those times were very much aligned with regulator. However, we started now looking at the underlying technology, and so sometime back in 2015, we started actually looking at the components of our that we considered that we believed would actually benefit more from a blockchain infrastructure. And for us, it's clear. The new journey that we're embarking on as a business, you know, we need an infrastructure. Again, looking at it from a cybersecurity point of view, which is one of the biggest threats to payment companies. Hacking a distributed system is next to impossible, because you're going to have to hack millions of systems, and you have to be able to do so at about the same time, you know, for you to be able to succeed. So clearly, building on a blockchain infrastructure improves our security. Secondly, when you are dealing with so many multiple systems, and you need to be able to present a single truth, you know, in terms of the transactions that pass through those infrastructure, blockchain actually does that in a much better way than some of the things that we have. Now, we decided we are going on a journey as Verve. We have said that payments is going to evolve. So payments will move from what you have to what you know, and eventually it will be about who you are. Now, to be able to orchestrate identity and use that for payment, you need a system that can actually have that capacity such that it is immutable. It's almost impossible for you to be able to hack, because your identity is you. So if we're saying that we're tying identity to payment, that means we're actually bringing you and tying you to your payment. So clearly, the functionalities and the capabilities of the blockchain made it clear to us that blockchain is the way to go for us to be able to build those solutions of the future. So we have a number of interesting things coming up on the blockchain, from how we implement our rewards and our loyalties, okay, to how we are going to manage hosted identities for payments, to how we, even in terms of how transactions are processed, you know, blockchain actually provides us a better platform for us to be able to drive payments. And of course, when you are talking about cross-border payments, as a payment scheme, looking at the entire African continent, we needed an infrastructure that, because the biggest challenge that Africa has is over 100 borders between 54 countries, 54 of over 40 different currencies within. It's difficult for countries to do business with countries. And if you look at it today, all of Africa, total volume of trade between African countries stands at about 15%. So we trade more with the rest of the world than we trade with each other. And blockchain and its potentials for cross-border payments is actually looking like where we would find the solution to that challenge.
All right. Thank you so much. Mr. Victor, over to you.
Thank you. This next question is for is actually for Ernest. So someone is asking peculiar Joseph. He says, any reason why Bantu using a 56 character mnemonic system that is alphabetical as opposed to using a word-based mnemonic like Bitcoin, which is 12 to 24 characters and manually based?
Thank you for that question, Joseph. So what you're seeing is the alphanumeric key, but underlying this key, you actually have the word or the seed phrases that are behind the scenes. So rather than have something very complicated where you need to have all these seeds or words as well as the final phrase, we wanted something very simple, which is just the 56 character alphanumeric digit. However, as you've seen from the Bantu Pay wallet, what you're really using is just usernames, because as the technology evolves, we have to move away from the complexities. I think it was last week when Vitalik Buterin, the founder of the Ethereum blockchain, said it's time for developers and wallet developers to basically focus more on users, non-technical users, and really simplify the user experience. Now, your question is very valid, but as you can recall, the hardest thing you're going to do on that wallet is to back up that key. If you have to save 12 or 24 word phrases, it's difficult to maintain. You can lose it. There are various pros and cons. We do have that in our structure, but we decided that rather than using the 24-word phrase solution, we'd go with just one key that a person can keep. We do have some other interesting tools within our infrastructure that will also allow users to recover their keys. You have things like brain wallets, where you could answer certain questions to regenerate your keys. So there are a lot of alternatives, but in the interest of time, we couldn't really dive into all of them for this presentation. But as you explore our ecosystem, you would find out more and more about the options we have for backing up your wallet. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ernest. We're going to take two more questions and round up this session. So I'll take one of those questions. Someone just asked the question and said, how can we get experienced and reliable developer who can build projects on Bantu infrastructure? How can we get experienced and reliable developer who can build projects on Bantu infrastructure? So I'll take that question. I don't know, Ernest, do you want to take a jab at it or I go ahead?
No, please go ahead.
All right then. So for getting experience, an internship program. So if you are interested in this, please reach out to us at operations@bantufoundation.org. We can get to talk. Then getting reliable developers to build projects for you. That's a separate discussion as well. So as the Bantu is, we are going to be publishing documentation, like we have started already, which you can take advantage of. Then on that angle, there are loads and loads of developers out there. Like Ernest said, rightly so, that we are very agnostic. Okay, so pretty much any developer that can write in any language can build on Bantu. Just like you see our wallet that is so simplified for everybody, so it's the back end as well. We are trying to make it very simplified, and we got that feedback on how we structured our API documentation. So I hope that answers the question. Then the other question that I will throw at Ernest, he said, how do I become a validator?
Thank you for throwing that at me. Basically, the way the current protocol is designed, it's not the typical proof of work. So the way the system is designed, it's based on trusted validators, which means that even if we have just a quorum of 4 machines running in consensus and you bring 10,000 machines, you cannot enter to disrupt or corrupt the ecosystem. So to become a validator, it's very easy. At this point in time, we are going to be putting out some information to invite people that will provide the specifications that we need, because there will be multiple tiers of hardware and internet connectivity and also availability. And it will vary from country to country and region to region. We're going to have about 3 tiers. And so when you join us and you can demonstrate that you can stay online, you can provide availability, you can then be added to the IP address, for the IP addresses for the core nodes. And then over time, you will graduate to the point of being sort of a validator, because this is very serious. We are going to be hosting some very serious applications and services. And you can see the type of companies we have at Sterling, Verve. You're hearing about InterSwitch and others. And when you're dealing with this caliber of institutions, you have to take things very seriously. You need to have the best and high availability systems. So pretty much anyone can be a validator. We do plan down the line as well. Part of our protocol upgrade will be to allow devices as small as the Raspberry Pis to also contribute, where those that contribute as a validator using that cheap device, about $35, will be able to earn some tokens by contributing. Now, these devices might not be strong enough to be at the scale of the full validator, because we'll have different levels of validation, but they'll be able to contribute and also provide some passive income for those who choose to support the network, because what we seek to do is to create as well the largest distributed network in the world. When we started with Bitcoin, it was easy. We were all using our laptops, and then we moved to our GPUs. But then the ASICs came in, and they completely distorted the market to the extent that you now see that computing power now is held in certain regions of the world. So we want to make sure that you have a network that is distributed, you have validators that are trusted, and equally able to support the ecosystem. Thank you.
How can Bantu team collaborate and partner with financial regulators? I'm interested in seeing and handling this engagement, yeah.
So, again, when I look at Bantu, and some of the attraction was the point of view of trying to build an infrastructure. And from that point of view, your primary market is focused on solution providers, is more of an infrastructure play, and in which case people can more or less, by trying to solve different problems, can build on the Bantu blockchain. I think that across the world, regulators are beginning to evolve, and they are beginning to see the power. How blockchain is able to add value to the world that they are familiar with today and the world that they understand, okay, and then eventually they'll be able to evolve. But we have seen a few markets, we've seen the Chinese and some of the steps that they have taken, and I believe that they will evolve. There will be a need for some bit of advocacy. But like in everything, it starts with going from the known. As people get comfortable with the known, then it's easy to introduce them to what they consider unknown. So that would be my response.
Okay. A bit of apology there for the break, Victor. No, Mr. Mike, actually.
So Victor, did you hear my response?
Did you get the response? I believe it will be the in part.
So we are done with this session. If there are no more questions, I have one question that has to do with the telcos, but I don't know if Shoyinka is still on. I know he's not on this panel. Shoyinka, are you on the call? This is a telco question, and because he's a professional in the telco space, I would have wanted him to take this question. Hi Shoyinka, are you still with us? Shoyinka Shoyinka.
I think he's with us, but mute and video camera off.
Okay, all right. So let's just move on. It's more around marketing. So someone is asking a question. He says their question is on marketing of the Bantu blockchain. That what are our thoughts now that in Nigeria NCC there are over 100 million smartphones, and on average people spend daily 700 naira. So how are we positioned for the marketing? So should I throw that question at you, Ernest? I know you are, or no, let me throw that question to David. David, that's to you, please. Ernest does the tech questions.
I like the way you're throwing the questions. So now we have Mr. David.
David, that's for you.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I'd say in terms of the marketing, and I speak from some experience here, as it was earlier announced, I am responsible for adoption, both enterprise developer adoption and community adoption for Tezos here in Asia, and I'm based out of Singapore. So I have some experience in terms of how to market blockchains. I think it's very dependent, first of all, on what the target audience is. There's marketing for developers and wanting to attract the right quality of developers. And that will ultimately have a knock-on effect in terms of the types of apps that will be built on top of the blockchain and drive some of the economies that will be built above the network. So that type of marketing, I think really there's a lot of event-driven, incentive-related programs that need to happen. And the developers need to work with the foundation, which again is a non-profit foundation. Bantu is set up this way to ensure that there's a symbiotic relationship between understanding what some of the priorities would be for the foundation in terms of use cases versus the developers that we would be looking for to come on to start building. The second thing is around enterprise. So we've got lots of leadership at the meeting there and on the call, including Mike on the panel. And really, for enterprise or institutions, they have a different set of problems that they're trying to solve. In many cases, there are real world problems in their business that they're trying to solve for. And so you have to have the right engagement. And I don't want to use the word marketing, but it's more of an engagement to ensure that you are tackling the right problems with the right people in that part of the organization. And ensuring that Bantu has the right toolkits for their engineers to be able to integrate. Last but not least, the overall community. So I'm talking directly to all the people who are online right now, who will be the contributing members ultimately to Bantu, and those who will continue to follow and build this community. I think for them, they have to see the ultimate value in them participating, whether it's in acquiring the utility token and ensuring that they are contributing either by helping through community boards, community forums. So we have Bantu Talk, which I'm not sure was mentioned earlier. And all the the leadership online in terms of thought leadership around building a better community is important. So we have, just to wrap it up, in short, I think we have all the right tools here that have been built. I think the team's done a great job to build enterprise engagement tools, developer SDKs and toolkits, APIs for the enterprises, as well as community interfacing platforms like Bantu Talk, and all the social media assets that they've developed over Twitter, Facebook, etc. And these are all important as a part of the overall marketing campaign to ensure we're getting the right engagement for all three audiences.
Thank you very much, David. I think on that note, I don't know if Tony is still there. I want to thank.
Sorry, Victor.
Okay,
yeah, I'm back. I understand there was a question for me. Apologies. Yes,
yes. Okay, thanks. So, guys, let's wrap this up. So, showing that there was a question around Bantu marketing and the potential it's got with the fact that there are 100 million mobile smartphones out there, and also the average user spends about 700 naira daily. So, how does this all tie to a potential for Bantu from a marketing perspective?
Look, and I think I can't remember who actually came down to the fundamental basics of what this platform offers. But for me, it's down to the ability for you to be able to tokenize whatever the product is. I think it just creates an enormous possibility in terms of the usability of this platform. So you will see this platform, its applicability in every realm that we will be looking at, whether it is through receiving loyalty points, through examples we've seen, tokenizing, even down to Bogono. But it's an enabler platform, and that's the interesting part of what I've seen. And I'm quite excited in terms of the framework that has been built upon this platform. So I think just to answer the question in terms of the possibilities will be down to the ability to sell this platform, to integrate into any area of commerce, whether it's from loyalty down to your inventory or to your assets. Yeah, it is applicable across every vertical.
Thank you very, very much. That was amazing, and I want to thank everybody as we are going to for being there. Thank you, Sir Mike, for nailing down all those questions. Also want to thank you, Ernest, for displaying that technical skill again to show us everything that we need to know. So thank you so much. I think we can let Tony. I think that we want to call on our senior brother, and you can do the intro as our big brother.
Of course, yes. I'll take it on, ladies and gentlemen. Please let's practice together for the gentlemen. Thank you so much
for your impact. Thank you so much. Our community online, you can join as well. You are not left out. You can put your hands together for them using the clap emoji so that, yes, I'm feeling it. I can hear the sound even as you're dropping that comment. All right. Thank you so much. Okay, so don't forget our online community members that a giveaway is going to be happening shortly. You don't want to miss out on that one. And this is not a good time for your battery to be low, right? So just go stand close to a socket. Just plug, but make sure that you're safe there because the giveaway is going to be happening shortly. But before the giveaway, I would just like to quickly call on our final guest appearance or speaker, if you would like, for his closing remark and vote of thanks. We'll just have the giveaway to wrap things up. And I'm referring to, let me just take a line from Victor there, our big brother, John Tani Obaro, the CEO of System Specs. Please, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for him as he gives us a closing remark and his opinion or thoughts as well. The floor is yours, sir.
To lay this kind of foundation. I mean, I'm personally so proud of these 27 people who have devoted almost 2 years to get us to where we are today. The beginning of a revolution. The train is indeed about to leave the station, and it's a privilege for all of us here today to have what I would call an upstart advantage, to be able to join at this early stage. It's virgin territory. The need is clear. The infrastructure, the foundation has been laid, and we have the opportunity to just work together with the Bantu team to take this to the next level. And I just want to say thank you to all of you for joining us this afternoon. When you see InterSwitch, when you see some of my guys from System Specs, all of us ready to work with the Bantu team, that should tell you that something big indeed is about to happen in Africa. So thank you also to our guest speaker, Abu, who is always a delight to listen to. And I really like his analogy about the currency, the naira and the dollar, cost of printing, about the same thing. I like his analogy about Pandemiam, except that he didn't take me to Omido when he was exchanging those values. But indeed, we have a bright future ahead of us. Thank you to everybody. And for those who have worked behind the scene, Ada, thank you so much. And Tony, the MC for today. And of course, the engine room, Ernest, and Victor. You guys have done very well. I mean, the interesting thing is that from day one, this is not just about Nigeria. It's I won't tell you who among them is not fully Nigerian. Okay, so this is not about Nigeria. Okay, it's about Africa. It's about all of us coming together to do something great. So once again, thank you to everyone for coming out.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. John Eduardo. Let's get up for him. Thank you for joining us.
Wonderful closing remark. And let me just quickly give a shout out. Okay.
And I can assure you, Africa will not disappoint you.
Africa is God's land. That's what I've believed from day one.
I was about to say amen.
Thank you so much, John. Thank you, David.
Awesome. So I'm just going to give shout outs to Mustafa. I see your comments in the comment section. You're joining in from Sierra Leone. Thank you for joining us. And I can also see the people on Zoom are having a party. They've just been receiving XBN up and down. David, we are going to find a way to also have people here, right? Because I believe you have them in your heart too, right? David, don't stay stuck on me right now.
Sorry, was that for me? I missed what you said.
Oh, David. Apologies. I was actually referring to Victor. I need.
So, thank you. We have special gift for everybody, but you know, there's a special gift for everyone. Especially those online, we will see your username. Don't worry, the team is working, and then for those on site as well, everybody, no one is going to miss out on this. This is for all of us, and we are going to empower your wallet today.
Yeah, that's the word, empower. Julius was actually adjusting his seat to receive empowerment. Julius, shout out to you. Thank you for that. A quick recognition there. Thank you so much for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I would just like to make welcome Mr. Obi Efuna for the airdrop session. And let's put our hands together for Mr. Obi. So this is going to be happening live right? All registered participants. It's very important I mention registered participants. So if you did not register, you can just join us later to share the grace.
Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, depending on the part of the world you're listening from. So we are going to do something now. Our hosts for the Zoom and I don't know which other platform we are streaming live, Facebook or whatever. Can you share? We want to capture everybody that attended this event, and we want to say thank you to them by dropping some rewards to them. So we want to have the form shared, the link to the form shared for everyone to just put down your username and your email address. That's all you need to do. It takes less than 1 minute to do that. So let's just go ahead and do that. What we are going to do is that we capture the usernames of all the people that are attending this event, and we are going to send you some tokens as a reward and for us to appreciate you, appreciate the time you have spent with us. And while we are doing that, we also want to just randomly select some people that are actually going to receive their reward here and now. So Tony, help us to just randomly select
Of course.
some people from this room that
Okay.
we're going to here, real time, send some tokens to.
All right. So, but before, Mr. Obina, before I select a random, you mentioned that everybody here is going to.
Everybody will also get, yes.
Mr. Ernest is seated here. I also have Mr. Mike. I know that they will not be receiving, so I don't know if I can stand on their behalf. And all right, let me just quickly pick at random. So, who should I pick now? Okay, I've been called. Okay, so I have my first Sodike Baba. Can you identify? Sodike Baba. You are you've qualified. So we just need his what again?
Username. Yes.
And email address. Okay, just.
Can you
Hold on,
just
please.
spell it? Can you just spell it?
Okay, spell it for me.
SURDYK
Got that?
SURDYK
BABA. Sadiq Baba.
Sadiq
Baba.
Baba.
Don't worry, we'll check. Hope you have your picture.
Yes, I have SURDYKBABA. It's a valid user.
Okay, who is Abidemi Akonde? Okay. And I pronounce your first name. You now acted like it was not you I was calling. All right. So your username? Okay, the same one as the other time. You were the one that they used to do practical. Like they sent you. Awesome. But we don't. Mr. Obi, how many am I getting here?
Do 3 people.
3. Okay, I have 2 already. So this is the second person. Don't worry, our online community, we are coming. Okay, the last person. Okay.
We have the third person, Tony.
Okay, I've been asked we should just go with 2 here.
Okay, okay.
Yes. Okay, our line community, we are coming. We are on our way. We are close. Very close. Okay, Mr. Victor, do we have people from the online community so that we can just...
Yeah, also remind them to fill the forms.
Yes.
Okay, so the information I have right now is for the online community members, theirs can be collated. I think the form they have been posted on the comment section there, and they can be collated and done later.
Okay.
Yes. Mr. Victor, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. So the Google form, I just mentioned that their names can be collated and the airdrops done.
You can do that after. So
Yes.
for every single person that's online, even though you don't receive it, you have all our links, our handles, our Telegram group, our website, www.bantufoundation.org.
Okay.
Connect with us on Bantu Talk. As long as you fill out the form, even after the form is still going to be available for another 1 hour, even after all of this, or more.
All right.
That you can fill out, and we're going to make sure we keep our promises.
Of course, of course. Mr. Victor, let me just quickly ask, what about those that are both offline and online? Is there a provision for them too? Or people like me now, I'm in that category?
So you are, so you are talking of the hybrid, no problem.
Exactly. I like the name. Hybrid.
Yes.
Made
There's the hybrid, provision for hybrid.
awesome. Okay, so please confirm that you've gotten your rewards. What's his name again? Sadiq. Yeah, confirm. Quickly check. Demi Conde. Akonde, right? Yeah, quickly check too. You've got it. Awesome.
What about Demi Conde? Demi
Yeah,
Conde.
you have it
You got
too?
it too? All right.
Awesome.
Awesome.
So the ones from the online can be done
Okay, so
much
they are
later.
patient enough.
Yes, they are very patient enough. That's why I love that community so
Thank you
much.
very much.
Okay, so at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we can now network our online community members. Thank you so much for staying with us. You can network using the chat box. And please don't forget to keep the conversation going. Bantu Talk, you can find every interactive conversations that you need, your topic, interesting topics to talk about there, and keep the conversation going. And tell your friends, don't forget to tell more people to download the Bantu Pay app as well. So right now, we'll just have to switch into the networking section of the program, which is definitely and actually the last thing, all right, on our list. So you can continue your networking in the chat box there, and while we here can continue our own networking here. Thank you so much for joining us, and see you some other time. Mr. Vic, yes, I can say bye-bye from Nigeria as well. Yeah, thank you so much, Julius. Thank you, Mr. John Obar. David, thank you.